So, coach. Along with
John Stewart.
John, a nice game we have here this afternoon because the Queen's School, they are defending champions, having won last year. The year before that, Camperdown won the tournament. So these two schools have been going at it for the last 3 years. And here we are with both teams now in the final. Camperdown winning in 2023, Queens winning in 2024, 2025 yet to be decided.
And from what I can see in the warm-up thus far, I'm very impressed with both teams, but I'm definitely eagerly awaiting, this matchup. Hopefully it promises to be an exciting one. Of course, we just had our third place game between...
It was Holy Childhood and, of course, Merle Grove.
Yeah.
And Holy Childhood defeating Merle Grove. We'll get the scores in just a bit and tell, of course, our viewers. Oh, it was 28-15. Holy Childhood defeating Merle Grove 28-15. So an interesting contest lies ahead now between these two teams, with the spectators in the stands really now excited, John, for what, as you said before, promises to be an exciting matchup.
About to have tip-off just shortly. Still awaiting some cues from the referee.
And the referee and the center with the tip-off, that's Edward Marshall, who have played with the Brave Chiefs for more than 12 years. Have won Berger Payne's Division 1 title with Brave Chiefs as well, himself being a referee. The two coaches, though, Donald Bimmer of the Queen's School, have seen victory with the championship, as we said before. So too Nyron Hurd of the Queen's School. The fact is that Nyron Hurd Camperdown defeated Queens this season 30-25 in the regular season. It's all to play for. So quick dribble of the ball.
Frantic start.
Yeah. Frenetic start, and with Camperdown now just slowing things down. And immediately through Bailey, they get the first shot of the game. And that's Camperdown's number 7, Natanya Asphalt, getting a 3-pointer for Camperdown to start.
Danae Brown from Queens bring the ball up the court. Unfortunately, her layup just missed there.
Here we go again. This is Camperdown with it once again, with Queens missing, as John said. Queens getting the steal. What can they do? Oh, good movement of the ball. And a cut to the rack, missing the mark. Oh, 2-time unlucky. 3-time, no good. Nothing dropping yet for Queens. 4-time, ball remote. Queens with it once again. 5-time, nothing to show. My goodness, John, nothing for Queens.
Frantic start, but unfortunately a bit of an inefficient start from Queens. Had several shot attempts, but just getting continuously blocked at the rim there. Good defending by Camperdown, I have to say.
Yes, definitely. Here is Camperdown with it now. They put the ball on the floor through Livingston. Finding her teammate, who goes to the rack. A double team. And the effort from Asphalt, who wears number 11. That's Natane. Ball going over the rim. They call her Little. This is her twin sister, number 7. Oh, good movement of the ball. Good dribble. There's a whistle on the play.
I have to say, her dribbling has really impressed me. It's something you don't typically see in girls at that age, that level of ball handling already.
Indeed.
Very impressive.
So shooting at the line for Camperdown is Livingston. Kayla Livingston, their guard. Oh, getting one more for Camperdown. There's a kind of efficiency quite early, though, John, from Camperdown.
Definitely. And I've also noticed that they're rebounding on those second chance points Defensive rebounding has definitely been a factor thus far.
Good observation by John so far. And if you're just joining us, this is the ISSA urban area high school girls basketball final from the National Stadium courts in Kingston. Queens shooting again, missing the mark. Onto the basket that time. It was Martin, Desire Martin. There's a whistle on the play.
I think Danae Brown's going to have to stop settling for those jump shots and just get straight to the rack. But it is unfortunate that she's being doubled so much because she's trying to create space for her teammates, but it's just not working out.
This is Livingston. Oh, a no-look pass. And finding her teammate that time, Martin. Martin with a bounce pass inside to Haspel. Livingston. Oh!
Nice step back there.
Nice step back that time.
Just couldn't
from
get
Livingston.
it to go.
Yes. There's an early flare about the Camperdown team. And Queens, the defending champions, want to get going in just a bit. We wait to see what they can provide. They put the ball on the floor. That is Bailey.
Her pass is cut out there.
Desire Martin with the inbound. Good movement of the ball by the Queen School. Oh. Trying something that didn't work. We say good afternoon to the legendary Omar Barnes, self player in the Division 1 competition, the National Basketball League. Haspel turns the corner and she's fouled. So Asphalt turning the corner but drawing the foul.
I noticed in the previous game, in the third place playoff game, that Merle Grove, they pretty much fouled on every possession of Holy Childhood. And I think probably going to be a similar situation here where they're so good at attacking the rim that you pretty much have to foul them, because their dribble penetration of Camperdown looks pretty good.
Yes.
A number of really good ball handlers on this team.
Up to this point, with 5 minutes played, a little over 5 minutes played so far in the first quarter, neither coaches have stand up. Sometime when a coach stands, it shows that something perhaps isn't going right. But if a coach remains seated, then you can bet your final dollar or your last dollar that things seem to be running smooth. Seem is the operative word.
Of course, though, with this 5-0 deficit, gonna have to look to get themselves out this hole.
Yes. Let us see if Queens can get themselves out of the proverbial hole, as indicated by John. Oh, that player was cutting John, and the pass was a little too high.
Just not on the same wavelength there.
Yes. Good pass. Oh, broken up quickly by the Queens. They come the other way. This could be their first bucket. Could it be? No. The putback is not good either. The first shot was by Absalom, and then the putback by Goff. But Queens unable to find the rack so far.
Seems there's a lid on that rim. Just can't break the deadlock.
Here is Camperdown with it now. Livingston directing traffic out there. Finding her teammate. Good slice. Asphalt, one of the Asphalt sisters. Livingston. Oh, what a great pass. Wow, that was a super pass. Livingston have that kind of cut where she doesn't necessarily need to look. She does establish where the receiver is and make those passes.
Definitely some really, really good vision out there.
And a timeout called by Donald Bimmer, the coach of the Queen School. We have played almost 8 minutes thus far, and Donald Bimmer is not satisfied. Have called to talk things over with the Queen's players. What exactly you'd be telling your players at this juncture, though? You trail 5-0.
Obviously, you'd tell them to stop fouling. That's been an issue for them, and as well as I mentioned before, getting those second chance points, their rebounding in comparison to Camperdown hasn't really been good thus far, and a lot of that is going to be down to effort. So tell them just to get out there and just do their best that they can in terms of rebounding.
Indeed, with 3:40 to play in the first quarter, Camperdown, coached by Nyron Hurd, hardly breaking a sweat at this stage. The Queen's School find themselves in a temporary hole, which they must now dig themselves out of, coming out of this first timeout call. In the event you're just joining us, yours truly, Dwight Fraser, along with
John Stewart.
And you're watching the ISSA Urban Area High School Girls Basketball Final 2025 from the National Stadium Courts in Kingston between Camperdown with the red and the white stripes and the Queen's School in the white top along with red shorts. Here is the Queen's School behind the back. Oh, that was ambitious. Good pass up top, back the time to, it was Danae Brown who lost the handle on it.
And as I mentioned before, she's got to figure out how to deal with these double teams because she's getting relentlessly pressed as soon as she crosses half court.
Yes, and of course you pointed that earlier on as well. Ball handling skills not bad. The Queen's School with it. Good cut that time from their number 23 player, where the number of Jordan Morrison. Queens unable to score. And Camperdown really boxing out though and denying those second chances. It's always a battle for the rebound, the defensive rebound.
And though that layup attempt may have missed, I think that's the right idea, getting Donnie to cut instead of having her be the primary ball handler all the time.
Definitely. Well, here is Brown, Donnie with it again on the dribble. Oh! Queens, they needed that. Desire Martin have broken the deadlock, John.
And that's a three-pointer as well. That's huge, cutting this lead down to size.
Indeed.
Good steal there by Martin.
And a foul called. A foul called on number 14, Kibibi McCarthy. And that's her first foul. A little over 2 minutes to play. Queens, after getting that three-pointer just now.
First free throw unsuccessful.
Yes. She'll shoot one more.
Unfortunately, doesn't get the second one either.
It was Desire Martin who shot the three-pointer earlier on, went to the line but missed those two free throws. So while you're scoring from the open floor, John, those points are going to be needed at the charity stripe, the free throw line.
Definitely. And with how poorly they've been finishing at the rim, even more so they're going to need those open play points.
So they go to the line again with Martin getting it to count now. And they trail by just a point. I was hoping to have things evened up now. Queens on the defensive rebound. Camperdown last touch the ball. Queens will inbound. Under a minute to play. Oh, an open pass. And the Queen's School
Great
are
vision.
in front.
Great vision off that inbound pass.
Here is a Camperdown. Livingston, coast to coast. Oh, a good pass inside. Wasn't worried that time in finding Kibibi McCarthy. Brown on the dribble. Want to score for Queens before the shot clock expires. Missing the mark. Here is Camperdown. Off to the races. Livingston. Oh, didn't get it. Camperdown still alive. Asphalt. Would she go for three? No. Livingston doesn't get it. And the time will expire. That's the end of the first quarter. An enthralling and entertaining one where Camperdown, they lead 7-6 despite what we saw earlier on in the Queen's School coming back in this contest.
And I think perhaps that timeout may have had something to do with it. They've looked way better since coming back from that temporary, that break.
Yes, and your assessment though of what you have seen though in this first quarter, John?
I definitely think that some of the shooting woes for Queens could be chalked up to just really doubling the star player, and their ball movement has not been good enough. They need to find out a way to get the passes quicker to their teammates. I've definitely seen better ball movement from Camperdown, and you could attribute that to the biggest reason really as to why they're winning currently.
You know, earlier on we saw Tashay Freckleton on the court and make that Kayla Livingston for the Queen School for Camperdown. Really a good ball handler. And the thing about it is, on the flip side, based on how I'm looking at it, the Queen School, while they have Brown as their main dribbler, will want to, of course, find persons who are open and persons who can go for better shot selection. Queens have really struggled so far in terms of the open court shooting. With, as I said before, only Desiree Martin, Desire Martin,
She has
getting 4 points thus far.
4 points.
Say good afternoon to a former Camperdown man himself. Call him Mr. Parrott from Greenwich Town. He's with us, joining us he's from Kingston Wharves. And of course, Camperdown Solum Optima Pitenda Sunt. And of course, the Queen's School will be pushing through, as we said before, to go all the way.
Of course, have to make mention of the fact that Kayla Livingston thus far has been arguably the player to watch in this game. Her playmaking for her teammates has been phenomenal. Even when she's not been able to score herself, she's been absolutely amazing at getting those open looks for her teammates. Some of those no-look passes, of course, full of flair, but she's getting the job done as well. And here's Livingston getting picked up at half court and loses it to Danae Brown, who loses it then afterwards. Bit of a frantic start to this second quarter. Understandably so. Queens, of course, trying to get back into this game. Miss Brown has it, trying to get past Livingston, takes the bump, unfortunately can't get the bucket, and now they can get on the break, but unable to do so. Queens get it back, and here's Brown, gets straight to the hoop, and fouled in action.
And of course, the coach would have had words with Brown to say, listen, drive the ball. If you draw the foul, you go to the line, you have an opportunity to shoot too. But push. Because as we said before, Queens, the defending champions, really started a little lackluster in my estimation. But now things might be changing given the talk that they got earlier on. An indication of what I'm just speaking of.
Now the scores are level for the first time in the game. Queens have done really well to get themselves back into it.
So here is Livingston on the dribble. Oh, good pass inside. That player going up. Oh!
And she gets the and one.
Wow!
Great finish there.
That time it was Kimora Martin going up and drawing the foul.
And I think that's one of the biggest differences between them and Queens. Camperdown players, they like the contact. They'll take it and they'll get to the hoop, as you said before, that Danae Brown should probably start being more willing to embrace that contact.
Asphalt with it. Finding Livingston. Queens with a double team. Good defensive work by the Queens School. The player unable to pass. Oh, great steal. Here's Queens School. Now they're off to the races. Goff. Oh, missing the mark altogether.
Brown with a wild attempt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Desire Martin got the rebound, went straight back up and was fouled.
Yeah, because obviously at this juncture, when there's a 2-point difference separating both teams want to keep the game close. And obviously now drawing the foul is part of that narrative. We say good afternoon to Calvin Martin, coach, volunteer, in-sports officer, Vice President of the Jamaica Basketball Association. Here is the Queen School. Oh, that was a good entry pass inside to Danae Brown.
Mark.
And she drew the foul as well.
And just a bit more cutting to the rim from Brown off ball, as I suggested before. Definitely a better option for her than just being the primary ball handler. Less chance at being doubled. And she gets a foul there.
So she gets the foul. So a 2-point differential separating both teams. In the event you're just joining us, Camperdown, their lead. That's a team in the red and white with the white stripes. And the Queen's a team on 7 points. The team trailing, and that's a team with the white top, coached by Donald Bimmer. And both coaches for this game, Kevin Herbert, the shorter of the two, along with Edward Marshall. And both have played the game as well. And both have been in the sport as officials for over 25 years. What do you tell your Camperdown players at this stage? Were you the coach?
I definitely tell them to continue to keep attacking the rim. However, I noticed in the warm-up that they have quite a number of players that are adept at shooting that three-pointer. I tell them probably, if you want to blow this game open, you're going to have to take a bit more of those threes.
Indeed. Well said, John, because it is close. And one of these teams will have to take some chances now to, as I said, blow the game open or open up a wide enough gap where they can feel comfortable, perhaps double digit. But it has been close thus far. We'll wait to see what will transpire. So Danae Brown at the line to shoot 2 after drawing the foul earlier, getting the first one to count. The first quarter ended 7-6 in favor of Camperdown. 6:44 to play in the second. Oh, good move that time by Brown.
Makes both attempts there.
Yeah. Scoring both attempts. Oh, that pass was telegraphed. It was clear as day. Making the attempt for the steal just now, the Queen School player. Unsuccessful in the attempt. And another Camperdown player draws the foul.
Should be a continuation foul, but the referee says it's wiped off.
Yeah, the basket was waved off. And to shoot 2 at the line will be John L. Lee. No, it's an inbound pass. She'll get from the side. Oh, Camperdown gamble, the Queens. Making them pay. No. Here is Livingston, putting the ball on the floor. Picking it up, she's double teamed. She can't touch it. Can she? Yes. Getting away the Queen School with a nice steal that time. It was Danae Brown.
And it seems Livingston's getting a bit of that Danae Brown treatment that Brown was receiving in the first half, being denied at the top of the key.
Yes. And interestingly, Brown have scored the last 4 points for the Queen School. She's on the dribble again.
She's back on track after a slow start. Can she get it to goal?
No. Unsuccessful that time. Long range 3-point shot coming that time from Morrison.
Just to clarify for our viewers, that foul that we thought was going to be a shooting foul, it seems that the referee has adjudged that the foul came before the shooting motion.
Right. Ends ball from the side. The Queen School now have opened up their biggest lead. 4-point lead for the Queen School. With 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Camperdown under pressure now. Livingston drawing the foul after driving.
Willing herself to that line. She's decided that she's going to take this game over.
You're seeing the coach of the Queen School standing.
Successful second attempt.
So the first shot wasn't good?
Yeah.
The second was good. So a 3-point difference separate both teams. A little over 4 minutes to play.
Seems Martin traveled there on that attempt.
Queen School having difficulty.
Bailey loses the ball there. And now Queens getting it on the fast break. Brown to Bailey. Shot attempt, unfortunately unsuccessful. A lot of points for Queens are coming on that fast break.
Yes, definitely.
Causing turnovers with their ball pressure.
Indeed. Because earlier on, it was one-way traffic for Camperdown. My oh my, how now the script have changed. Long-range three-point shot.
Not enough lift on that one. And Livingston can bring it forward for Camperdown.
Chev lost it in traffic though. Oh, a scramble for the ball.
Livingston did well to keep that one in play, but
definitely
couldn't get it to a teammate.
Here is Brown. Want to go to the rack. She's double team. Oh, that player opting to shoot was blocked that time. Long range shot coming. That is short. But the Queens get it. Camperdown almost self-destructing now. That is number 10, Desiree Martin, shooting and missing the mark. But really now, John, Camperdown really having difficulty now to keep things together. Here is Camperdown with it now. Finding her teammate that time, Asphalt. Camperdown unable to string some passes together. The Queen School doing well on the fast break and the offensive and defensive rebounds. No wonder they lead by 3 points. But they're losing the ball. They've lost the ball now in transition.
I really just think Camperdown really need to stop just only going to the rim. They need to diversify their shot diet. It's become a bit predictable. Sometimes they need to just settle for that mid-range shot.
The Queen School. Oh, sweet. A 5-point lead for the Queen School now.
That's Michaela Morrison with that last one. And Kimora Martin feels she should have received a foul there.
Yes, she thought she was fouled. And Camperdown will have it to inbound. Under 2 minutes to play now. And they've turned the ball over. Another turnover for Camperdown. The Queen School enjoying the run of play now. Camperdown setting up a 2-3 zone defense. Here is Brown on the dribble for the Queen School. And a walk-in violation call. Under a minute to play now. Livingston opting to pass. But again, Camperdown telegraphing those passes. And Queen School finding a way to cut them off.
I think Morton would have been best served passing to Asphalt there. Just the vision lacking, but
yes,
still gets a inbound pass from it. Still their ball.
So the Queen School doing well defensively. Livingston. Oh!
Almost gets the and one.
Yeah.
And I have to say, that defense by Martin on Livingston
really was tight. Pressuring.
Very tight.
Yes. So with running time.
Shot clock violation.
So that brings us to the end of the second quarter. And the second quarter really, John, belonged to the Queen School.
Yeah, definitely. And as I mentioned before, a lot of those points coming on that fast break, causing those turnovers, denying their ball handlers at the top of the key. And I just think they're definitely going to have to stop settling for just shots only at the rim, because they're being denied relentlessly by the defense of Queens rather.
Yes.
And in particular, as we mentioned before, Martin on both ends of the court has been unbelievable.
And just to add also to John that this Queens team, they have scored 9 points in this quarter compared to Camperdown's 3. It was 7-6 in favor of Camperdown at the end of the first period, now 15-10 in favor of Queens at the end of the second.
Offense has become just a bit stagnant here, with Livingston finding it really frustrating, really hard to get to the rim. The rim's a bit more packed, the paint's a bit more packed rather than it was in the first quarter, it seems.
Yes. All right, so at this juncture, we take a short break. And when we come back, we continue our coverage of the ISSA Urban Zone High School Girls Basketball Final between Camperdown and the Queen's School. The Queen's School are defending champions. They lead at this moment 15-10 over Camperdown, who won the previous year back in 2023. Stay with us. So with under a minute to go, we say welcome back to our coverage of the ISSA Urban Zone High School Girls Basketball Final between the Queen's School in white top and red shorts against Camperdown with red shorts, red top with the white stripes at the side. And it certainly, John, has been a kind of swing song cadence with Camperdown enjoying the run of play until the Queen's School are now enjoying the momentum.
And of course, key to that was, well, really a role reversal where we saw, Danae Brown being denied at the top of the key almost every possession. And now the last quarter, though Livingston has been great so far, she has 5 points, but she's been being denied, pretty much being picked up full court every time she gets the ball. And we've seen a lot of ball pressure, full 94 feet from this Queens team. Very frantic on defense. Love how they play with a lot of energy and a lot of passion.
Definitely. And so now we wait to see what kind of Camperdown team will come out in this now, the third quarter of the high school girls basketball finals. We say good afternoon to a teacher from the Queen's School, passing our broadcast point. You were making the point?
They're definitely going to have to get some more points elsewhere, especially from Morton. We know that she has the talent, she can do it, but she's been a bit frustrated thus far, and that frustration has spilled out into, her behavior thus far.
Yeah, well, let us see, as either team can't self-destruct, not yet with a championship on the line. But I figure, John, that it is going to be a little bit more competitive, and we'll see some more fight, literally, in this contest the more it wears on.
Of course, Camperdown's coach just actually encouraging them to be more combative and as well as just stay together. Just some infighting there, but trying to deal with it. And here's Morton driving and wins a foul, and of course will short 2.
Yes, was driving towards the basket, drove to the basket. Contact was made, but it seemed as if she lost her footing that time in the key. Shooting the first one for Camperdown, that's Kimura Martin to shoot one more. And the second is good. So Camperdown off to the races with the first point of the third quarter. The crowd shouting defense, but the Queen's School, they're equal to the task. Putting the ball on the floor. Brown. Oh! Unsuccessful. The Queen still alive through Bailey. This is Brown. Falling under the basket. Player down. Seems to be okay. The Queens gets it back. The player just standing and shooting that time was Goff. In fact, it was Morrison. Oh.
Lovely help defense there by Camperdown.
Right.
Not allowing her any space to get to the rim, and that's a shot clock violation.
Yeah.
Beautiful defensive effort, closing down the space.
Definitely. And while Queens were still able to hold on to possession, it was the defensive strength of Camperdown that forced them into a shot clock violation. Oh, Camperdown getting 2 more. This one is going to be close.
McCarthy there, that one.
Kibibi McCarthy scoring just now for Camperdown. Here is Brown. Long range 3, it doesn't fall. A fight for the loose ball. The player goes up, she's stripped. And a fight for the ball.
And Jonelle Lee holds on to it for Camperdown.
Yes. But Queens will get the ball from the baseline. Brown kissing the front of the rim. Asphalt with the rebound. Queen equal to the task. Oh, great hustle that time. Great hustle by the Queen School.
Green with that save.
Yes, it was Kiara Goff of the Queen School with that. Chasing the ball. Here comes the Queen School once again now through Brown.
Sitting back up in that 2-3 zone, as we mentioned before.
Yes. Morrison putting the ball on the floor. Queens still alive offensively. Brown with it, turns the corner, ups the pass, gets it back, one step, shoots, missing the mark, the put back.
Morrison.
By Morrison.
And again, Livingston loses the ball. A lot of turnovers from her in this game. Morrison rebounded there twice, but couldn't finish. And now it's Livingston on the fast break. Good dribble and gets the bucket.
Good finish that time by Livingston. Kayla Livingston for 2 more for Camperdown. A 2-point game. Here is Brown on the dribble. Our defender falls. She's pushing. Nothing for the Queens.
Effort, unfortunately, can't go.
Camperdown with the rebound. A foul called. And that's a 3rd foul on the player being substituted. That's number 4, Kiana Green.
And there's Martin coming back in. And how they have missed her. Lee fouled there by Brown.
Yes, it's really getting scrappy now.
As we mentioned before, Camperdown's coach did encourage them to be more combative, and it seems in this quarter they've come up with that mindset.
Indeed. I saw him drawing up some play in Iron Herd, and obviously those plays are for his players to attack the rack, and they have been doing that, following instructions thus far. The Queen School defensively.
McCarthy. Martin comes clear.
Yes. And Coach Nyron Hurd looks down his bench.
Seems Dejanay Harvey's about to enter the fray for Camperdown.
Definitely. Martin, long range 3, doesn't fall. And a foul on number 23, Michaela Morrison. That's her 2nd foul.
And Harvey takes the place of Morton here. Kimura just getting a rest on the bench.
Yes. And of course the Queen School, they're going to need her down the stretch. And picking up a 2nd foul.
Asphalt up the line.
Yes. That is Natanya Asphalt getting the first one to fall. The last time these two teams met, Camperdown defeated the Queens 30-25. We're anywhere near those scores. Maybe halfway.
I think it was Brown just encouraging Absalom to go straight up with their shot.
And a foul was called, but I'm not sure it was called on Natanya Asphalt. Yes, it was. I was really looking at the table official to see how many fouls that would have been. So the first shot was good for Martin, and still a 2-point lead. But Camperdown staying in the ball game, and Queens finding a way to maintain the lead. So the Queen's School have gone to a man-to-man or make this woman-to-woman defense. If the Queen's School must defend their title, as I said before, it will be a slugfest. If Camperdown is to win tonight, they'll have to work for it.
Definitely, effort will be the key here, and we're seeing it from these young ladies. Harvey missing point blank range there.
Yeah, it was an open effort.
Bailey with the violation.
Yes, a walking violation call on Bailey for the Queen's School. Camperdown will inbound from the side.
Love to see that from Martin, though. Just encouraging her teammate despite the mistake.
Both teams stepping up their game.
And Bailey blocks that three-point effort from
Yes.
Livingston.
Livingston was ambitious just now. As we say good afternoon to the coach of Holy Childhood, Miss Smelly. Just a quick question for her though. She has played the game, has coached the game, has represented Jamaica. Remind us of your full name again.
Onicia Smelly.
Miss Smelly, given what you're seeing here this afternoon in terms of development for the girls at the high school level here in Jamaica land we love, how satisfied are you?
We're definitely on a very good track, and with a little bit more work and consistency when it comes to just playing basketball overall, the level will improve a lot more, but they're looking good so far.
Definitely. So you would encourage then that there be continuous basketball for women in keeping up to the same percentage as the men and the boys?
Definitely, and at all levels, because that's the only way we're going to get proper representation when it comes to national level.
Starts from the grassroots.
Definitely, quite so.
So thanks again to Miss Smelly. Of course, she is the coach of Holy Childhood, or part of the coaching staff at Holy Childhood, but is the head of the sports department there, indeed. And thanks again, Miss Smelly.
Thank you so much, sir. Nice talking to you.
Blessings. So Miss Smelly, of course, her team, Merle Grove earlier on. As we go back to what's happening now, this is the second time that the game has been tied, John.
Yeah. A lot of back and forth between these two teams in terms of periods of dominance. Brown with the fade away.
Oh!
Mid-range. And
My
to
word!
go. Beautiful move there by
The
Brown.
answer by Brown. My goodness, John, this is excitement non-stop now.
Definitely, and there's Livingston to the rack. Great pass.
Her shot is blocked though. And a 2-point lead. So a 2-point lead for Camperdown. And a timeout call. Interesting, John, that this certainly now has been rising to fever pitch. It is really getting exciting.
And of course, with the championship on the line, you wouldn't expect anything different from both these teams. The defensive effort, the rebounding effort has been phenomenal from both. Great display of athleticism from these young females, these young ladies.
Indeed, Naira and her talking things over with his girls. They lead by 2.
Or Queens, rather. I think lead by 2.
Yes, Queens leading by 2. And that was the end of the third quarter.
And of course, that last bucket coming from Danae Brown with a wonderful fadeaway after a great spin to lose her defender.
Yes. So it has been close. The widest margin would have been that 5-point gap at the end of the second quarter, where Queens led 15-10. Now 2 points separate both teams. A long-range shot. It doesn't fall. The Queens with a rebound. Here comes Brown, looking for passing options. Good steal by Livingston. Looking up court. Asphalt with it. Inside to Asphalt. Taking the bounce.
And she gets the free throw. She gets the foul.
Yes, but unsuccessful in the shot.
Of course, would have wanted that three-point play, but she'll settle for 2.
And we spoke about it earlier on at the top of the broadcast as to how important the free throws will be down the stretch. And here we are in the last quarter.
Ooh, rims out. Could have had a chance to level the game here with just under 4 minutes to go in this quarter.
Indeed.
Blocked off by Asphalt. And here's Desire Martin, loses it. And Camperdown can come clear. And Donnie Brown, wonderful steal.
Yes.
And fouled again on her way to the rim. She's taken quite the beating here.
Oh yes, definitely. These girls will be banged up this evening. Ball on the inbound.
Martin in traffic.
Oh!
And Camperdown find themselves 3 points down.
An outlet pass. And Camperdown turning over the ball.
Livingston wayward pass there.
Well, just a correction to that earlier on. We're still inside the third quarter.
Livingston gets that one to go. And just a 1 point deficit here.
Definitely. So this is the Queen's School on the dribble. Through Goff. And that player losing the handle on it. Under 3 minutes to play now. Long range shot. Oh!
And
a sweet shot.
Great mid-range attempt there by Absalom.
Yes. And those shots
She gets the steal. Gets it to Brown. No go.
And over the back foul call on number 10, Desire Martin.
Love the defensive effort, however, by Queens. They've been great thus far.
Yes. And Goff checking out for the Queen's School. So 2.5 minutes to play, John, in the third quarter. Dejanay Harvey to shoot. And here it's interesting now that Camperdown getting a shot at the line, John.
Dejanay Harvey. 2 from the line, unfortunately, no.
No. Here is Brown on the dribble. She's a good dribbler.
Morrison from 3. No go. But they get the rebound.
Camperdown, Queen's School really hustling now. They deserve to be in front.
And Bailey with that one.
Yeah, given their level of play and their hustle off the ball and on the ball. They really look like they need this championship. Camperdown turning it over once again. Here comes the Queen's School. Through Martin. Finding her teammate Absalom. Behind the rack. Livingston with it. Puts the ball on the floor. Asphalt gone.
To Harvey.
And Harvey getting it to fall. Both teams want to stay in the contest. 1.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Donnie Brown driving to the rack, missing the mark. Oh, Livingston left alone. The game is tied. For the third time in the contest, the matchup is tied. Camperdown fell asleep earlier on. Queens perhaps have awakened the gentle giant. A long-range shot coming from Danae Brown, going outside.
With just under a minute to go in this third quarter, it's anyone's game between these two teams, back and forth. Camperdown have done really well to stay in the game despite the many ebbs and flows of this one.
Definitely. And despite their many turnovers and the fact that there is greater shooting accuracy from the Queen's School players. Camperdown on the inbound. That ball belongs to Queen. The player made the inbound but stepped in before releasing the ball. Under a minute to play. Camperdown have gone back to that zone defense, allowing the Queen's player to perhaps roam free, forcing them to shoot.
Absalom's shot off the backboard there.
And good defensive work. Good defensive work from the Queen's School, though, to ensure that the players don't go away. The fact that the Camperdown team have inbounded, that they stay right there on defense.
And Absalom hits yet another mid-range attempt.
So you go to that zone defense, forcing the Queen's players to shoot. Well, they are showing you that they can.
Yeah, and Absalom in particular is making them pay from mid-range. And here's Livingston, loses the ball to Morrison.
In transition too.
Good work there by Jonelle Lee to prevent the layup there.
And that Queen's player, we'll wait to see if she'll go to the line.
No, that's an inbound. Oh, it is a free throw.
Yes, in the estimation of the referee, she attempted to shoot. But certainly, though, this game has remained close, though, over the last minute and a half.
And gets the second attempt.
A 3-point lead. 23 seconds to play. 23 and 2/10 of a second to play.
Asphalt.
So Camperdown having difficulty.
And I think that was poor clock management. You could have just allowed them to just have one shot.
Indeed.
Held on to it.
Rather than rushing the shot. The Queen's School will take the last shot, perhaps.
And Morrison walked there.
Yeah. 4 and 2/10 of a second now for Camperdown to get off a shot. That is if they can. And time runs out. That brings us to the end of the third quarter. Your summation, John, of what you have seen in an enthralling ebb and flow third quarter.
That was a beautiful effort from both teams, but I definitely think that the Queens, they just have that advantage. They've been getting out in transition, lovely ball pressure, and in transition they don't make as many mistakes in terms of turnovers. We've seen quite a number from Livingston in particular turning the ball over. Doesn't deal well with pressure, perhaps due to that vertical disadvantage.
Yes, definitely, given her height and the fact too that she is the main ball handler for Camperdown, and we're not seeing another ball handler stepping up to take the load off Livingston for Camperdown.
Definitely.
On the flip side, though, Danae Brown certainly have been outstanding for Queens this evening, and also too, Brown is getting the production from Desiree Martin. She's getting the production from Kiara Goff, from Absalom, from Morrison. And the fact is that Camperdown not getting that production from at least 2 or 3 players to surround Livingston in the shooting department.
But I think that has a lot to do with their egalitarian approach in terms of sharing the ball. Most times, as you rightfully said, it has been Livingston bringing the ball up the court as the primary ball handler, but we've seen a lot more sharing of the ball from Queens in terms of bringing the ball. We've seen Goff, we've seen Brown, we've seen several others bring the ball up and have less chance to be doubled at the top of the key.
Indeed, because ever so often, and your point is underscored by the fact that ever so often when the Camperdown players get the ball, they're either marked carefully or double teamed. and Camperdown not necessarily doing that to the Queen's player. They went earlier, as I pointed out, to a zone defense. Perhaps we wait to see what will happen as both teams come out of their respective rest period. We're standing by now for the fourth quarter, and the Queen's School, they lead by 3 points. This is the ISSA Urban High School basketball final for girls at the National Stadium Courts. Camperdown, they are the defending champions. So 10 minutes to play. Your expectations?
My expectations? You mean my prediction? I genuinely think, as it stands right now, Queens looking like they're the better of the two teams. More disciplined as well.
Indeed. But with 10 minutes to go, we'll see what will transpire. If discipline will descend into misbehavior.
You can see the frustration pretty much boiling over already.
Yes, and if discipline can be maintained by the Queen's School.
It's Morton getting to the rim, but
yes, and managing to take the shot too. A good steal by the Queen's School. Introducing a player on the floor that
McGee.
Yes, who haven't played.
Up and down there by Goff.
This matchup. And McGee is the smaller sister of a McGee who had played basketball back in the day. Asphalt. Can she take the shot?
Couple of violations to start this fourth quarter. Perhaps a bit of nerves from both teams given what's at stake here.
Definitely. McGee on the dribble. Camperdown players. Stifling defense. McGee gets it back. Oh, Livingston with the steal. Unable to capitalize. The putback. Falls.
Lee. And we've seen how they denied the ball handler, both guards descending on her, closing that angle.
So Johnny Lee with the putback just now to keep this game close. Under 9 minutes to play now.
Livingston getting a break here. Bit of a surprising decision.
Well, they've called a timeout, the coach of Queens, Donald Bimmer, to talk things over. So back to the action here at the National Stadium Courts. And obviously, after that timeout, what is it that Coach Bimmer would be telling his Queens player at this moment?
I think just maintain discipline. They've been losing the ball a lot in this quarter when previously we hadn't seen that. Issue with the scoreboard here, I believe.
8:52 left to play. I'm not too sure the Queens player inbounded the ball before the signal of the referee. Hence the officials using that buzzer to pull back the play. Livingston with a rear steal. Camperdown, have they come to play now, John? That was Johnny Lee on the dribble and drawing the foul or pulling the contact.
Of course, that's just a personal foul. And there's Morton to the rim, and she gets to the line.
If this championship is to be won by any team, certainly, as I said before, we see a flock of birds fly near the courts, that it is certainly going to be a slugfest. It is certainly going to be physical. It certainly will come down to the wire.
Love Morton's effort today shows just the mentality. She hasn't had the best day shooting the ball, but she's been willing herself to that line, getting those extra points for her team.
And scoring both points to put Camperdown in front for the first time in at least 9 minutes, dating back to the third quarter, when they pull level at 18-18. Camperdown just in front now by a shadow.
Brown misses that one. Bailey loses out, and Jonelle Lee on the fast break. Missed the first effort, but she got the second.
And is more determined now.
From three.
Oh! A three-pointer
From way downtown.
Camperdown now suddenly alive. 33-29. Livingston, one more! 35-29. This Camperdown team is smoking. Can the Queen's School reply? Missing the mark.
Martin with the miss. Lee comes forward. Only had eyes for the rim, instead of a teammate who should perhaps better served passing.
My goodness. Camperdown have opened up a 6-point lead.
And as we spoke before about that three-point shot, blowing the game open, that's what it's done here. Revitalize the team. And of course, getting the steal shortly after. Camperdown look like they're back into it.
Remember, we spoke about discipline at the start of the fourth quarter. A player being down. Not too sure.
It seems that was Jonelle Lee who fell to the ground. Hard fall there, but of course, shouldn't be a fall, of course. It was just non-contact. But hopefully she'll be okay. Folks, this has been an excellent game by both teams. Great defensive effort, great effort in general, really. And the coaches, of course, doing an exceptional job, which what you would expect from two championship caliber teams. Seeing them drift between zones and man-to-man. Also seeing them commit to double teams as soon as that primary ball handler crosses the court, and that just lets you know the level of coaching that has gone into making these teams what they are today. A great innate understanding of the game. Just a little break, of course, and we'll be back soon when Jonelle Lee is taken care of. Just still down on the court, receiving some medical assistance.
Yes, John went at the side of the court, got a closer look. She said that in going for a loose ball, a player's knee caught her on the side of the head. She lost her balance and fell hard on the court. Now, luckily, the court that they're playing on, the surface itself, is of a rubberized texture on the top, because previously it was pure asphalt. And I've seen back in the day some nasty injuries where players had to end up in the hospital immediately. And so, thank goodness, her mother is there. Incidentally, her mother is a teacher as well. And of course, the medical bag that is always here at the stadium comes out with the national coach, Mr. Brown, and several others who are trained in CPR and of course understanding certain basic injuries and how to deal with it. They have assured us that she'll be okay.
Of course, always good to know that the player's health comes first, that they're being well taken care of.
Indeed. So
Lee's being carried off the court here.
yes. So that player is number 8, Johnny Lee. She have been taken out of the game.
Perhaps for good.
Yes, perhaps. In comes Kibby McCarthy, number 14. The Queen School.
Brown from 3, air ball.
7.5 minutes to play. And the Queen School will have what, a 6-point deficit to close? And Camperdown perhaps want to build on that lead. We'll see what we'll see. Oh, good move that time by Asphalt. Couldn't get it to drop. The Queen School hoping to come the other way. There's a whistle on the play.
And given the 6-point deficit, you'd say, of course, Camperdown looking pole position to win this. But given the injury to one of their better players,
Yes,
it could present a challenge.
yes. So getting the assurance again that the player will be okay. Here's the Queen School now with it. They want to bite into this lead.
Great defense there by
Yeah,
McCarthy.
Yeah, because the ball really bounced on the boot of the shoe of the Queen's player and went outside. Livingston, oh,
Bit too much on that one.
yes. The intention was clear for a pass, except that it wasn't channeled properly. Our Queen's player going down.
And Danae Brown, the one that goes down there. And prior to the game, she did have a brace on that leg, I believe. And it seems, upon pressure by Livingston, that she has re-aggravated that injury. And does not look good for Queens here. A 6-point deficit and a possible injury to what seems to be their best player. Danae Brown definitely showing her mentality, the strength of her mind, despite a hard start, a rough start in the first quarter. Bounced back and has played pretty well in this one. But this could be heartbreaking if she were to have to leave the game.
The prognosis out there, John, is that the ball handler for the Queen School, Danae Brown, are not suffering an injury. It's her calf, suffering a cramp in her calf at the moment. And the calf muscle so central in the movement of the legs in sports.
Well, thankfully it's not anything more, more serious, because as I was pointing out earlier, it did seem as though she had re-aggravated an injury that she previously had.
Yes.
She was walking gingerly when she came in
Right.
the warm-ups, but thankfully it's nothing more.
Not at all, but the calf muscle really got stiff on her just now. They've taken her out, and so the other Queens players will look now to maintain production offensively. And
I think they'd be best served getting the ball to Martin here in terms of looking to score. She's been really the one taking on that, shouldering that burden scoring-wise.
she have lost possession. Oh! Good hustle that time. The Queen's School have not scored though, perhaps in the last 4 minutes.
In quite some time, and Martin, that baseline effort, unsuccessful. Offense has stagnated. If they want to win this one,
they'll have to get some points on the board. So Queens will have possession from the side. So 6.5 minutes to play. Camperdown, they lead. Oh, that is Livingston making the pass just now and finding her teammate McCarthy missing altogether. The Queens trying to string some passes together now. Oh, good movement that time on the inside.
Great effort
by
there by
Martin.
Queens.
Yes, Martin really sliced towards the rack, John, but was unsuccessful though in not getting it to fall.
Martin, I thought she traveled
Martin.
there, but she gets the bucket.
Yes.
Referee didn't see it. Play on. And Absalom, too strong on the layup, doesn't get it to go. Coach of Camperdown complaining that perhaps she was fouled.
Yes, from behind, but then again, as a coach myself, I've always told my players to stay away from arguing with the referees because it gets you into mental pressure. It gets your other players too into a disarray. Leave the cause to the referee.
And of course,
Or
you don't
leave
want to give yourself an inbuilt excuse should you lose.
Not at all. As we'd have seen in many sports where after a team lose, they find someone to blame, and oftentimes it's the referees. If they had won, the referee's call would never be in question. The Queens on the dribble, finding an open space, can they? That player putting the ball on the floor.
Morrison.
Want to shoot.
Morrison, unfortunately, diving to get that one and just collides with a couple of Camperdown players on the bench.
And knocking over a Camperdown player off the bench like a domino and falling on top of her. My goodness. And I told you earlier on that this now, it will be a slugfest. 5 minutes to play. A 4-point gap. Queens losing the ball in transition. Camperdown to inbound. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your tickets. This one will go down to the wire.
The Queens coach might have to call a timeout here. They just need to settle this team down. Bit frantic, making a bit too many mistakes here.
Camperdown with the three-pointer.
And it's Camperdown who make a mistake.
Queens with possession now. 5 minutes to play. The player putting the ball on the floor, and she was fouled.
I thought the strip initially was clean there by Morton, but
the referee saw it differently.
It seems the coach says, I've heard my plea, and a timeout has been called.
So a timeout called, and at this juncture with 4:55 to play, let's start with Camperdown. What is it that you tell your players?
Well, of course, as you said before, leave the referees alone. Keep that out of it. Making a bit too many mistakes. But I think with all that's been happening, they just need to settle down. Mentally, they just have to prepare for the rest of this game. As you said, it's going to be a slugfest. So you're just going to have to settle down mentally and keep your head in the game. Avoid the mistakes, avoid the turnovers. And of course, keep going to the rim where they've had success thus far, especially in that third quarter when they made that run.
And for the Queen School?
For the Queen School, I definitely think that they're going to have to ask Martin to be a bit more efficient down the stretch. They're going to look to her to score a lot. Of course, in the absence of their best player, arguably Brown. But they're going to have to ask her to be just that shouldering that responsibility of being that go-to bucket getter.
Well, Janelle Lee
back on her feet.
Back on her feet.
Thankfully.
And of course, eating Seemed to be an energy bar there and getting a rehydration. And the other player of the Queen School who was down shortly after Danae Brown doing some stretching as we look now to the benches. So the consideration perhaps is to...
Seems something's wrong with Goff. Not sure what it is, but she's in quite some pain over the right-hand side.
That's Goff of the Queen School. And medical attention coming from every direction. The spectators are standing. We are standing. The coaches are both standing.
Martin, unfortunately, can't get it to go. Asphalt down the court to Morton. Beats a defender. Gets it in. Beautiful finish.
Beautiful
there.
move. She dribbled right, dribbled left, and then made the layup. A 6-point advantage, Camperdown.
Morrison with the floater gets it to go, and we're back to a 4-point deficit.
Definitely. The Queen School ensuring that Camperdown does not get away. Queens was hoping for a foul with that move by Asphalt just now.
I thought Green traveled there.
Yes.
Absalom with a hook shot, a weird one. It's unsuccessful. And Morton can come up the court. Gets past the pressure, but the pass wayward.
Went between Asphalt and Livingston.
Perhaps could have passed the ball a bit earlier.
4-point game.
And it seems Brown, thankfully for Queens, she's coming back in.
Yes. As we said before, Queens being the defending champions, they want to keep the title.
And of course, getting back Brown does increase the chances of that. And a steal there by Absalom.
Now. Brown.
Rushed attempt there. Just needed to settle down before finishing off that layup. Been too much of a rush. And Camperdown's coach arguing that it's their ball.
Livid, yeah. Because he thought that he should have possession from the side. This is Brown, who went down earlier, shoots, missing the mark, and it goes outside. Yes, he was livid, 3.5 to play, because he thought that the ball came off a Queens player last.
Morrison wins the ball back, passes it to Absalom, who gets it to go, and we're down to a 2-point lead for Camperdown.
Now.
Travel, and yet again, we mentioned before the turnovers for Camperdown, and it seems Livingston makes yet another mistake, and Brown from 3. No go. Absalom.
Fight for the ball. So a foul called on the Queen's Absalom. That's her first foul. Camperdown will get the inbound.
Bit of a careless pass there by Kimura.
Yes. The passes will have to be more decisive. The Queens really determined to shut them down now. And a foul call again on number 8, Absalom, the second foul for her. And it will be a shooting foul as the Queen School team, they are now over the limit.
Yeah, they're in that bonus, and that has been a problem all game for them. A lot of fouls.
Indeed. So anywhere the fouls are committed now on the court
will result in free throws for the opposing team.
I'm not too sure if Camperdown is over the limit, but I know Queens is. 3 minutes to play.
Asphalt gets the other one to go, and we're down. Well, we're up 3 points.
Yes.
And a mistake there. Livingston had a bit more time.
Yes, but rushed the shot. The Queen School want to make them pay now. Ball belonging to the Queen School.
The floater unsuccessful. And it
And
seems
a foul call again
Kimura
on
is fouled.
Absalom. That's her third foul. Perhaps the coach of the Queen School might look perhaps to take Absalom out of the game. Not too sure what will transpire.
Not
But
a lot of,
the fact that we're standing, John, does it mean that we're nervous too?
perhaps over this the outcome of this game. And I must make mention of this. The Queens team, we saw a lot of ball movement as opposed to Camperdown earlier on, and I feel that has been a big reason as to why they're currently losing. They've gone away from that egalitarian approach, and I just think they're gonna have to get their other players involved a bit more.
Indeed. This is Brown on the dribble. She looks oh so good. Oh, great pass. That player
Martin.
attacking the rack. Martin. The putback by Martin. They needed that, the Queen School.
3-point game again. And yet another empty possession
Yes.
for
Ball
Camperdown.
belonging to Camperdown though.
McCarthy losing out there, and Morrison comes clear in the fast break. What a block!
What a
by
block!
Asphalt.
My goodness. She read her all the way. But Queen still alive. A fight for the loose ball. Livingston picks it up. Finding her teammate.
Asphalt just got the block, and she gets a point for her team.
And in fact, Asphalt is playing much better than what we saw from her earlier on. A little bit gingerly previously in the contest. She's now playing with a little bit more heart. This is Brown attacking the rack for Queens. Queens with the putback. Oh, great move. That time by Martin.
And as we said before, they're gonna have to look to get her the majority of the passes here. She has been their sole bucket getter in this quarter, I believe.
And of course, the calf of Brown acting up yet again. But both schools certainly have given it their all in this contest, John.
They've risked life and limb here.
Definitely, either way it goes, definitely. I'm saying congratulations to both teams because both teams really gave us a show tonight. 1.5 minutes to play, 90 seconds if you will.
Just a 4-point lead.
Yes, not yet done and dusted.
Not insurmountable.
Not at all. And Donald Bimmer calling a timeout for the Queen School. Certainly an entertaining last 3 minutes or so of this contest, whereas it stands now. Still a 4-point separating both teams, but in my estimation, it still could go either way.
Definitely. Just see Brown stretching that leg out on the sidelines there. Definitely having some problems, but we of course hope she'll be okay. And of course Queens, who are looking to get back into this game, definitely will need her if they hope to do so.
Yes, and let us see what will transpire. With, of course, under a minute and a half remaining, it's still a lot of possession between both teams. But then again, I'm not too sure how many timeouts remaining for either coaches. That is going to be significant too. As in regards to shooting from the line, we spoke about that all evening. And Camperdown really have stepped up now where the shooting is concerned from the line. That still is certainly a factor.
Definitely, and it's been a while since we've seen Queens get to the line, actually. They were getting to the line quite a bit earlier on.
Yes.
And of course, they're going to need those extra points now that their offense has become a bit stagnant. Aside from Martin, really no one else contributing to the scoreline.
And also to this Camperdown team, while they've kept Queens at bay, I think Queens themselves need to perhaps step up in terms of drawing those fouls if they wish to go to the line.
Martin blocked again by Asphalt. Absalom yet again rushing her shot. As for beautiful defensive work from her in this quarter, down the stretch of this game, she has been amazing at protecting the rim.
And Martin, drawing the foul for Camperdown, will go to the line. A minute and 11 seconds to play. If Martin scored 1 or 2 of these shots, then perhaps
that could just seal the game.
We could see the momentum in Camperdown's favor to win the contest tonight. She have scored the first, unsuccessful in the second, and it'll be Queen's ball.
Oh, not timeout, rather.
So a 5-point lead. Let's see what Queens can do. Martin on the dribble up high. And Queens still holding on to possession.
Lee back on the court after that unfortunate incident early on. Brown with the reverse. Unsuccessful. A lot of bodies on the floor.
Yes.
Morrison from 3. Can't get it to go. Brown saves it, but to no avail. Livingston gets it down court to Morton.
It's over.
It's pretty much over.
46-39.
And yet another turnover.
Yes. Here the Queen's School now. What can they do? Closing seconds, under 30 seconds to go. Martin.
I think if we want to get back into this, we're going to have to take some threes.
Yes. And they would have to hurry.
They'll have to get them in a hurry, as you said.
And a timeout called by Nyron Hurd, the coach of Camperdown, to talk things over. He perhaps have seen enough. He perhaps understand the importance of using a timeout if it's up your arsenal. As we say goodnight to Ms. Robinson. Blessings every time. Ms. Robinson, being part of the women's development, would be glad to see what's happening here in this matchup. But 46-39, John, I say it's over.
Yeah, with a 7-point deficit at this point, with just under 30 seconds to go. It's a bit tough to come back from that. We don't have a Tracy McGrady on the court to get a 13-point, 30-second run. So, definitely seems as though this one's over. And seems as though Goff still in pain, as we mentioned earlier. I think she needs to be rushed to the hospital urgently.
Yes. And as I said before, I know persons trained in sports medicine and, of course, sports injuries. We'll be looking to attend to that player. But 22 seconds to go. Queens with it now. Brown, her shot is shot. It was blocked. The Queens hoping to get off a shot. Can they? Camperdown with stifling defense. 13.7 seconds remaining, John. This is Livingston.
Good
Beats on
crossover.
marker. Slices to the rack. Camperdown are winners in 2025. A 9-point lead. Livingston getting it once again. Here is the Queen's School, perhaps now with the final shot of the game. And there's where it ends. Camperdown, having lost the championship last year to the Queen's School, have rebounded in 2025. They are the winners tonight, 48-39. Your assessment of it all, John?
I love the confidence. I love the swagger that these girls came out with, the effort, but of course the mental toughness to come out of this game as winners despite the ebb and flow, despite the injuries, despite the inefficiency and the turnovers, especially from Livingston, who fought through that and has come out as arguably the best player in this game. Lovely work from her defensively and offensively. and well-deserved win by Camperdown.
And I thought that the guards really started for the respective teams. You mentioned Livingston. She gave you the production tonight, throwing body and limb into each fight, making the shots, making the steals, ensuring that she set up properly on defense and encourage her team. But also, too, let us give kudos to Danae Brown of the Queen School. She was cramped there in the just at the start of the fourth quarter, and felt the cramp and kept pushing through it. And our team losing tonight, but I think no shame in their game. The Queen School really gave it their all as well.
Definitely, she can be proud of her effort tonight, despite the apparent injury, despite everything that she's gone through physically today. She gave a good account of herself tonight.
Indeed. So that is where we put the lid on this broadcast, and that is if we can get a quick word to the winning coach of Camperdown, doing an interview as we speak. So perhaps we might have to wait, but we'll see if we can get the captain of the team to have a quick word with. So Camperdown winning 48-39 over the Queen School, and obviously Nyron Hurd himself, who have won the championship in 2023, losing to the same team last year, the Queen School, is a sweet revenge.
We had to make some changes, actually doing something in the game that we have done for the first time, and that is what got us the victory. We have never played zone. Today, pretty much in some foul troubles, so we played zone for a bit just to keep us, protect the persons who are in foul trouble, and it worked out to our benefit, and then we came back hard the fourth quarter and thus victorious.
Of course, one of your players went down, obviously, I think it was Goff?
John L. Lee.
John L. Lee, that, yes.
Down for us, and thanks be to God, our mother, who is the head of the sports at Camperdown, rushed onto the court and, you know, gave her the treatment. Yeah.
And of course, spare a thought though for the ball handler of Camperdown.
Kayla. I'm not sure which award she's collecting. It should be the MVP. Let's hope it is.
Last name again?
Kayla Livingston. Livingston.
She gave it her all tonight.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Thanks again, coach. So on behalf of the entire production team, my co-commentator John will of course bring John into the shot before we close off. John, your assessment of it all in 30 seconds or less.
Well, I thought the energy levels from both teams tonight were great. I really enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. A close game until the end, but lovely effort from the ladies, and it's exciting to see in regard to the development of basketball in Jamaica as a whole, but especially from the female side.
Thanks again. And of course, on behalf of John, our camera crew, and the entire team in production, Dwight Fraser, and of course,
John Stewart,
saying thanks for watching. Keep it locked, and ISSA Sports TV will be somewhere next, perhaps in your community, with, of course, with, of course, other sporting activities, be it basketball, netball, track and field, you name it, will be there. Thanks for watching.
And then bring the size in the right order. Thank you very much. All right. The league, Kayla, want to put down those? Kayla, you want to put down those for me? The league MVP. Kayla Livingston, Camperdown High School. Next category of awards, the All-Star Selection. From the Queens, Donnie Brown. All-Star Selection. Is Donnie here? Let me just move on to you together. From Camperdown, Kayla Livingston. Can you just stay right there, Kayla? Just stay beside Miss Lindsay. Stay beside Miss Lindsay. From Immaculate, Brianne Burrows. Go on, she's ready. Go on, is ready. From Holy Childhood, Tamoy Hamilton. Can you stay beside? From Queens, Danny Brown. And from St. Andrew High School for Girls, Jory Ricketts. Those are your 5 all-stars. After Miss Ricketts, we'll take a group photo, guys. Walk like a young Miss Ricketts. Group photo, please. Group photo. All five persons. It's a nice starting 5. Okay, ladies. Looking good. Again, apart from Kayla who spoiled the order. Alright. And I just want to announce that Kayla Livingston has been selected to represent Jamaica in the Special Olympics mixed basketball in a few weeks. So she will be out of here in a few weeks with the Special Olympics basketball team. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We now move to the runner-up, and can the members of the Queen's team please come forward. Sorry, no, Queens, can you please, all Queens, can you please just stand by? Queens, can you stand? Only Childhood, can you forward? 3rd place. Only Childhood. Go, ladies. And of course, as you know, Only Child have been on the winning enclave for many years. It's not their time this year. Again, I want to encourage the girls, keep working on your game, work on your skills, work on your fitness. Team photo with the third place trophy, please. We're going to go like an up there.
Bring them into not so tight. They always have more. This is only for my phone.
At the girl, you gotta get the photo.
Well done, good job, Queen, well done. Let's go back to the drawing board and come again next year, next season. Our next award, the champion coach, Coach Naran Earl of Camperdown High School. Now for our 2025 champions, the Camperdown High School. Can you come forward for your award? Let's go, ladies. Let's go. You see the biggest fun in the world? Biggest fun in the world. shooting in the background. The person who are shooting in the court, please stop the shooting, please. Congratulations again, Camperdown. Just to remind everyone, jump ball camp, run, coach run, jump ball is July 7th. July 7th to the 11th right here. All the beginners players especially come out and work on their basic skills. 4 days of basketball in the sun. Star Search Camp is on July 13th to the 18th. I think we're in a power cut, but life goes on, guys. It's not a light, it's not a lock off, it's a timer. The light on a timer. Just for all apologies, the light is on a timer for the light.
What is this?